Yeah, and I want to get Jason's thoughts here on confidence and finally proof of concept we mentioned earlier, and players getting some reward for the work. And I think that's what wins are, is their rewards for the work they put in. And to see those guys, see Belichick smiling in a post-game press conference, to see the locker room like it was, to see all those type things, Jason, how important is that for these players? It's all about the kids. How important is that? But also, the coaching staff and everybody around the program. I can tell you that it is a lot more pleasant when you win, whether or not you coach to win.
Understatement of
what,
the show.
Whether or not you coach to win or you coach to the process, it is more pleasant when you win, and it clearly showed on the faces of these young men, especially what we've seen the last couple of weeks. Confidence and all that stuff, Jason. Yeah, I don't think you can overstate how important it is, especially for a bunch like this Carolina team.
You ever been hungry at a nice restaurant that you go to an event or something where you're there for the meeting part of the restaurant stuff, but it's a nice restaurant. You're there, you're hungry, and you smell that food, but you can't afford it. So you sit there and you don't
Oh
pay for
yeah,
it. I've
I
done
do
this. I've
that.
done this more than once where I'm just sitting there and I'm the one person not eating. You're there. It's nice. It's like, man, this would be really good to get that. Kind of looking and hoping that somebody will maybe offer you a piece of their appetizer or something. I've been there. That's what doing all the work and focusing on the process is when you don't get the results. There's it's nice to be a part of the circle that you can go to and have that meeting and be a part of that. But if you don't get to eat the food, it's not real pleasant. When you finally get to order that food and you're like, I can, you know what? I'm hungry, and I can go ahead and eat with y'all. There's something about that. That's what you're looking at. You finally are getting the reward for all the work you put in. And instead of sitting there and just smelling it and going, oh man, I know what this would be like. Man, I've been putting in that work. It would be great to just be able to have that food. And then all of a sudden you get food. One of the next things you go is like, you know what? Next time I go to that restaurant, I'm gonna eat again. I got to make sure I'm working harder to be able to eat when I go to the restaurant the next time. That's what this is. And so the other part about it, you mentioned confidence. We talked about that all last week about how the lose close phenomenon. You start to believe that maybe you're getting there, and then if you can get to where you win close, now you really believe like we're doing the right things, and you double down on that. And the next step after that is knowing. You don't just believe, you can do it. And you stop trying. It's the Yoda thing, do or do not, there is no try. You have to get to that spot by you try and you try and you try until you realize, no, I just got to do this, and I can do this. I know I can do this because I've done this. That's the next step. And you kind of have to break through to get there. And when the dam breaks, sometimes it really breaks. Sometimes you actually see teams go on a run or a tear, and it can go the other way. You lose. I mean, again, look at Tallahassee. They win 13 games in a row. Actually, they won 20 games or 19 games in a row. Go 13-0 in the regular season. They get snubbed from the playoff. They get blown out in the postseason exhibition, and then the next year, the confidence level, the swagger, I hate that word, but the swagger, the confidence level that they were playing with of total belief in what they were doing just wasn't there. And they've been a much more fragile program. It can go either way. You start to lose. That team beat Alabama this year. Alabama might be the best team in the country, and now they're on a 4-game losing streak. You kind of get knocked off, and it was an overtime loss against Virginia. What happens if they win that game against Virginia? Do they go on that 4-game losing streak? It takes, things are so marginal in college football to where just a little bit of the wrong thing, you come to doubt yourself a little bit after, an overtime loss or something happens, and then all of a sudden you go on a slide. Maybe you get a dominant win and you're like, that's what that feels like. And you go out and you do it again. And they've got an opportunity against, a Stanford team that's not exactly a world beater this next outing. They've got an opportunity to build on this, and maybe they can get moving with some sort of streak.